SwayamPrabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Quality of line is perhaps the most important determining factor for the quality of an artwork. So, whatever we represent visually, they are based on certain elements, and one of the most important element is line. So, unless we have the control over the line, we cannot produce a very good visual. And that is one reason we need to keep on practicing and keep on having a proper control over the line in a visual expression. And it also happens that when we increase the size of a line, we make sure that it does not our physical disabilities does not interfere in the quality of the line that we are producing. To be very clear, I will try to explain that with some very basic examples, like when we use our fingers to make a circle or maybe just form like this. We can only cover a small area. What if the image is larger? We cannot keep on struggling to get it large. We do not enlarge the area that way. So, in those time, what we do is we use our wrist, we do not make our fingers move much, and we keep our fingers still, and we use the same pencil perhaps, but we make sure that we are using our wrist to get that rendering. So, that is another control that we are having over our wrist. Then what if I try to increase the shape that I am drawing even more? So, in that time, we cannot depend on our wrist, and we slowly move to another part of our body, that is the elbow. So, then we keep the finger and wrist unchanged, and we use our elbow to get a larger shape. We do not move our wrist, and we choose to move our elbow to get a larger shape, and similarly we use our shoulders to get a larger drawing. So, every time we are applying a line, we make sure that we have a total control over our body, so that the hesitation is not revealed. And it is a struggle, of course, but who wants to show the struggle? Who wants the viewer to come across our struggle? Because what we express, it has to have a effortless expression. Otherwise, if we do not enjoy, if we do not enjoy the process ourselves, then we cannot convey an enjoyable experience. We cannot give that experience to our viewer. So, that way we take up our project, and let us see how we solve all those problems. One consideration that we discussed was of course increasing the size, and now what we are going to see is how to increase the quality in terms of visual experience. So, we make our lines finer, we try to get the right line to create the right surface, and that way in our artworks or any kind of visual expression that we are attempting at, that gets us required quality. So, we can create surface through different ways. We can repeat any form, any pattern, and get an integrated surface. For example, if we try to avoid contour line and get a line which is not a contour, but it also gives us the volume, then I'll try to show that with some example. we can create a similar effect in a surface by using a different texturing here. So, we can have our hand move in whatever way is possible to have a high value, low value contrast, and thus we can think of different shapes of our choice that we have also realized in different contexts. Now, let us also see how we can get the material quality right in this kind of condition, because sometimes we need some atmospheric effect here that we have discussed earlier, that we may not want a sharp contour. We say no to it. We go for a condition that is more foggy, where the contour is not sharp and showing. It gives us an atmospheric effect. Now, it totally depends on us how we choose the lines. We can either scribble or take some typographic help to come down to this. The basic consideration is that how we change the value and how we effectively use the pattern of value. And how we operate the achromatic range of gray. So, let us see how to get different surface quality through drawings. For example, if we have a surface like this, which is transparent, we need to get the transparency of this particular object. It is shiny, at the same time there is a lot of light which is passing through it. So, that is also creating a very sharp shadow. So, the range of white and black, or the high value dark value range, is quite heightened here. So, I will try to get it partially in my rendering, and we will see how we solve this kind of problem with the use of light and shade. Let us pick up other surfaces which are not so shiny. Maybe we have some cloth in our mind which does not have this much of reflection that may happen in a transparent object. So, to get the surface, first let us go by a counter exercise where we have a range of line. So, a surface can be smooth and so smooth that we cannot even see this much of a line or this much of a roughness there, because even when we apply parallel strokes, the line between the parallel lines gives us a sense of coarseness into it. So, it has to be even, gradual, and that is the practice that we need to give ourselves sufficiently. So, let us make the drawing of an object which is rather transparent. So, in a surface like that, there are very less possibilities that we can have a line that does not go in a single order. Now, when we create a surface, I will do that partially to just realize how it works. We need to just follow the order that happens in nature. This is also important that we work on the background and also free the background from the frontal surface, because for a transparent object where the light is passing through, we cannot draw it without some bit of a suggestion of the background. And the same background will be seen through the surface. The continuity of this surface is showing here in this part, because the other parts, because of the shape, has got separated a little bit. So, we will come back to the same volume. With a sudden reflection here. So, in a surface like this, we feel the need of a sudden contrast. In fact, we can go to the extent of erasing off certain part to create that sudden contrast into the surface. That will create a sudden value difference and enhance the reflective effect. One cannot go too erratic in erasing of the surface, but often it gives us a good effect and a surface quality. And by erasing, we are creating the sudden change into the value of the object, and that will make it more transparent. But then what we did was nothing but a naturalistic study. We cannot call it creative expression, because we did what we saw, and we did not mix our thought or imagination or any other thing into that creation. So, when we get the essence of it, we also try to add that into the quality of a line, and we go maybe a little more simplistic. We either distort or multiply the effect, or we go by the artistic distortion of simplification. We take out the hidden design out of a surface and try to draw it once again. Let us see how that is possible. So, we can give the same impression in a different way, that we create a surface which is transparent. So, we produce a sense of transparency with color by interpreting the color in terms of its value and the value difference. That is one possibility. We can also take help of finer lines and create finer surfaces. By integrating two contrasted color in a surface, we can simply create a drawing that gives us a sense of a surface which is rather graphical. By changing the value pattern, we can create light and shade. So, here the quality of the material is operated by the form and not by the surface so much. So, it is a linear formation that can be associated with another form, and that way we read or interpret the form and also justify it. There are multiple other possibilities that can be produced by a good quality line. So, we need to make sure that we hold our breath when we apply a line. We go flexible, we increase the size, we can decrease it, we can make thinner. We should have the right control to make it parallel. So, there can be formation which is completely linear in feeling. By using line, by multiplying line, we can come up with expressions that are very vibrant depending on what we are willing to express. Because expression is finally an urge, and the more we feel like showing the surface, the more will bring more and more line, and we would like to reveal the formation of line, and line can work as an unified factor to integrate a lot of different and imaginary surface. So, in this surface there are the negative space which is white that can also work as a positive ground. So, this white and this white is not actually situated in the same plane. This white is going much deeper, whereas the white here is coming at the foreground. So, that is a linear formation where we use the we use the background in the linear formation. So, by the negative positive relationship we can create an expression, and the whole line flow can take us into a direction, and we follow the same order, and that is how line drawing gets very, very effective. So, the use of line in different ways are seen in different points of time in the artworks of Van Gogh, Gauguin, Picasso, Dali and many other people. They have used line drawings in a most effective manner in their artworks. But finally, our aim is to create a unified pattern that creates the visual harmony, and line has always worked as the unifying factor in our visual expressions. So, in our next chapters, we are going to explore the possibilities of how to create visual harmony and visual integrity through different elements that we have discussed so far.